Bristol Temple Meads only. This train has 9 coaches.
Welcome back to Wessex and West. It's been a while. I apologise. Work, life, everything else has been busy getting in the way. Had been to some good shows, but more importantly, been doing a bit of work here. Had a bit of break from social media as well, but wanted to give you an update because we have something pretty big here at Wessex and West. So we're on the peninsula at Lostwithiel, and now if we come out and have a look, we have an upper deck. So we have an upper deck here, and we have some layout lighting now got in. So we've got some pretty good layout lighting in here, but the biggest thing is now is we have an upper deck at Wessex and West, and as you can see, this upper deck goes the entire length of the peninsula. So pretty much all that's got to be worked on here is the back scene's got to go in on here, the valance around the top, the valance on the front, and we're pretty close to every single bit of woodwork being completed on the peninsula. So the upper deck's got in, as you can see, it's open frame, same as the bottom deck, but this now completes the multi-deck element of the peninsula. So as you can see, if I can get down here, you can sort of see the heights. So the fiddle yard over here, okay, is level with roughly this support here. So you can see the actual peninsula is slightly higher than the fiddle yard, slightly lower than the Avonbury Westbury side of the layout. So this is now my eye level. So as you can see, that's my eye level there. So you get a good view of that top deck. And obviously, you know, you get a nice view here, but really pleased with how this has turned out. So we now have an upper deck. I think you can see here, it frames the layout much nicer now. We have a curved back scene that comes round the end of the peninsula. And again, it just looks nicely framed when you look at it. Got some sculptor mold drying there, as you can see. And as we come round here, I have also moved the back scene back from the viaduct. And obviously now that back scene is in, you can see it really frames the viaduct. And that looks really good, and I've redone this area. Brought this one slightly forward, that one slightly back. Just feels like it's framed now. But as you can see, the upper deck's in. For the time being, it will live as storage. But really pleased with that, and the back scene fully in here. So the peninsula is pretty much there, and obviously it affords now some really good views of trains coming around the curve, as you can see there. Really pleased with the curved back scene there. Really brings the layout to life now. And the lighting, as you can see, I think is pretty spot on. Just giving you a bit of a distance view of the peninsula now. So as you can see, that's pretty good now. So the uprights, so you'll have a similar, on the top here, you'll have a similar sort of curved back scene. It'll come slightly further around on the top, and then you'll have a valance which will hang off on the ceiling. So like the lights here, for example, you won't see. These will in time be removed once I add the LED strip lighting in as well. But it just gives you a little bit more of a view. So you can see now you get a, if I can zoom in there, apologies, there you go, you get a nice little view of the way the layout sort of really framed now. Obviously this is designed to be very much a US style layout with a UK prototype, and really happy with the way that's working out now. So I suppose one of the key questions you're going to ask is, how do you get to the top deck, the new top deck from the bottom? Well, it's quite simple really. There's two options. I've built this and this will serve as storage for a little while I'm continuing on the bottom of the layout, but there's two options. Number one, here obviously if we look on the Avonbury-Westbury side here, you've got these two lines going off. Now in reality, these are the two lines that head up to Bath and Bristol from Westbury. These two lines are the London lines which rejoin with the avoiding line further down. So there's two options. Number one, these two lines here can come off the end of the board and there'll be a helix over the top of this helix, and then that will come here and the whole of the top deck would be one big reversing loop, if that makes sense, going back down to the bottom station there, and I could potentially model the Westbury cement works there or something like that. The other option is, and probably the leading option, because the peninsula is primarily Cornwall, West, and this is primarily Westbury, Avonbury, which is Wessex. The other option here is, as you know, currently in Lostwithy Station, we have the branch line bay platform here, which goes into the main line. The option here is that this potentially becomes an island platform. This line can continue through the back scene there, so a slight alteration. If I take that platform off there, another bridge there, that disappears off there, and again a helix over the top of this one. The branch line appears here, and I could model somewhat I believe that probably the Loo line mixture of the Cornish branch lines to make a branch line which will continue down here. Maybe the other side of my iPad there'll be some more China clay dries. So ultimately down there you have the bottom China clay dry, the old one. You could potentially have some newer ones up here, round the end of the peninsula along the other side to potentially the end of the line down here, so a Loo type station or something like this. So we've got a branch. I think that's what I'll go with, simply because then if I've got some more China clay dries up here or various places to go and pick things up, I can go and collect China clay, full China clay there, bring it down into the yard here, run round in the yard, and then ultimately it can head down the branch line which runs down the back there to the lower deck where the viaduct is, the existing branch line. So a couple of options, but the good thing is I'm really happy that we've got that upper deck in. Here, just to give you an overview of the lighting that's gone in, this is two LED strips which run around the whole room, and as you can see, these are what they call 6000K. So as you can see, the LEDs, there are millions of LEDs in here. The LEDs are only about 2mm apart. It's not cheap, but as you can see, it just gives such a uniform filtered light, so you don't see LEDs in the rail. It's really nicely diffused, and I think a really good light. This is currently running at 80%. It is remote controlled, so I can move it up and down from 10% all the way to 100%, so I can model different times of the day. A couple of new arrivals, as you can see there. Picked these up at Taunton, the PRA wagons, and then some of the new Revolution wagons that have been picked up there, joining the fleet as well. A little bit done on the Avonbury side. So for those that don't know, this is obviously based on Westbury. Two main lines are here, and I've finished the three sidings at the front. So these are currently got some stone and some metal trains in there. This will eventually, this is the stone yard in real life. More than likely here I will use it as the civils yard and move the stone to the back. Like the Westbury Avonbury depot will sit there, and obviously you can see the station's fully in there now. So really pleased with how it's coming on. Apologies, it's been a while, but as you can see, we've got some real progress and a lot of work's gone into getting the upper deck in. I'll leave you with some trains running, and hope to see you all soon.